One of the biggest issues I see in athletic development or training for sports performance, and I include CrossFit in that category because for me, CrossFit or CrossFit training is a sport, especially if you plan to compete in that sport. It is the over-development of the concentric strength versus isometric and eccentric strength. Most athletes put a lot of emphasis on how much weight they can lift, but very rarely do they focus on how much weight they can lower in the control, and even less often do they focus on becoming very good at holding positions under weight. Isometric actions. Just to recap, if you don't have an exercise biomechanics course in your pedigree, concentric refers to producing force while the muscle is shortening. So when I'm pressing a barbell, when I'm coming up from a squat, the muscles are shortening, so it's a concentric action. When I'm doing an eccentric, I am producing force while the muscles are lengthening or stretching. So that is an eccentric, I'm yielding to the force. Isometric is producing force, but there's no movement. There are two main types of isometrics. Yielding and overcoming. Overcoming, I'm not producing movement, but I'm trying to move up a weight. I'm in a deadlift cage, I'm trying to pull a weight that exceeds how much weight I can move. I'm still producing force, but there's no movement. I'm attempting to overcome the resistance, overcoming isometrics. Yielding is, I'm trying to prevent the weight from dropping down. I'm holding that curl here and I'm holding it in place. Now, overcoming, trying to lift a weight that doesn't move, is better suited for increasing force, strength, whereas yielding, just holding weight in place, is better for hypertrophy and is done better with longer sets. Now, is isometric important for sports performance? Yes, because when you're running, when you are changing direction, when you are landing from a jump, when you're getting hit, there is always an isometric phase. And the stronger that isometric phase is, the more easily can you switch from absorbing to projecting. When I'm running, my foot lands on the floor, I'm absorbing my body, and at the end of the absorption phase, I'm stopping the downward movement. Go like this, then, and I stop, then I can project myself. The stronger I am to absorb and stop, the quicker I can switch from going down to going up. When I do a vertical jump, if I'm weak isometrically, it goes like this. And I jump. If I'm strong, boom, boom. When I'm trying to change direction, if I'm weak isometrically, boom, boom. If I'm strong, boom, boom. The stronger I am isometrically, the easier I can stop my downward movement and switch to the projection. So that's why being strong isometrically is important for sports performance. And here's the thing. The brain utilizes different recruitment patterns during a concentric, isometric, and eccentric action. You can be very strong concentrically without being strong isometrically because the brain does not use the same contraction pattern. So if you want to be strong isometrically, you do need, ideally, to include some form of isometric training in your workouts. Doesn't need to be emphasized as much because you're still getting stronger isometrically by making the muscle stronger. But if you want the strength gains to be equal to their concentric improvement, you still need to train isometric work in the gym. A good example of that is illustrated in my book, Theory and Application of Strength, a Modern Strength and Training Methods, that is available on Thibarmy.com. And also in triphasic periodization by Carl Dietz, who also include eccentric, isometric, and concentric training separately to make sure that everything is in balance. I believe that for optimal performance, isometric and eccentric should be as equivalent, proportionally speaking, to the concentric strength for performance and injury prevention. So very important to have an isometric component in your training if you're an athlete.